Today is August 7, 2023. This is Chief Abundance coming to you at 8:01 in the morning. I would first like to do some house cleaning, and then I will refer to the trending topic that is coming out of Niger and how this is the image of the past and the present, and an image that we should not allow to continue because it has not benefited us as a people of color. And so, whereas some of you might be saying the military toppled a legitimate government, if some of you know how these governments get into office, you think that you vote for this person, but a lot of the times your vote doesn't even count. These things are already predetermined even before the ballot cast. Look at Paul Biya. Is Paul Biya legitimate in Cameroon? He's not a legitimate government, but he's still there. If you know the amount of rigging that they did in that last election and the way how the system is set up, that a council that is appointed by the government in an election dispute is the council that decides the election, that appoints by the admin. Is that the democracy? And so, my people, sometimes, I've always said that we are what and who we are because of how we were indoctrinated. The reality is very bitter. The reality is very bitter. But the truth of it all, we have been had. We have been had by the institutions of the elites, my people. How long will it take you to move your head from under the sand and rise it up to get new and fresh ideas and to detoxify yourself and to begin to open up your eyes so you can see from just your emotions? This is not emotion for Mr. Abundance. I have seen the wickedness of the policies that have kept us as a people in abject poverty. We need to see it. We need to see it for what it is. A lot of these prime ministers and presidents, before they are elected, especially if the colonial masters, because we are still colonized, because except you are economically free, you are not free at all. And see, our masters, if they see you, John Doe, have a good chance of winning, and you're from a francophone or an Anglo-Saxon area, or from Belgium or one of those countries, there you have to go to the head office. So you have to go back to your colonial master, and you have to ensure them that if you win and when you win, you will keep the policy of raping our resources. You will keep the draconian policy, no matter how harmful they are. Your people have elected you to cut ties and to make life better. And you told them you're going to make life better. But it's just a lie to get you there. Because we have seen it. In the islands, we have seen it. There's no difference in the parties, because the one thing that keeps trending is that those who have money benefited, whether one party loses or another one. It doesn't affect them because they understand politics. You don't. For you and I, if we're supporting red and I'm a senator and blue wins the election, I'm out of a job. A minister, I'm out of a job. And so that's what we see. We see the end result. And so we fight and divide ourselves to keep them in office, one against the other. But at the end of the day, is it not the same UN they are reporting to, no matter which win? Is not the same IMF that they go to, no matter which win? Is it not the same World Bank that they're subject to, no matter who win? Is it not the same China that they go and borrow and beg, no matter who wins? Is it not the same billionaires and millionaires in your country still get the big business and contract, no matter who wins? Oh, come on, my people. Niger and what they have done is an act to prevent and to stop colonial France from looting. Have you heard any of the ECOWAS countries talking about the state of Niger while the colonial masters bleeding that country of the resources? Have you heard them talk about the poverty index in Niger? Have you heard them talk about the infant mortality rate in Niger? Have you heard them spoke about the lack of infrastructure in Niger? Have they spoke about the dependency that Niger has on other African countries and the West for their survival? A mineral-rich country like Niger? Did they speak about Niger's social problems? A people that is so rich in resources that are living from hand to mouth and scarce to want, dying from things that they should not die for. And we, as a people of color, should support France, the US, and Europe for maintaining economic atrocities in Africa. Is that what we are trying to defend intact community? Is that we are so that we are so drunken with corruption? We are so blind that we cannot see? I mean, even the disciples, the Infinite has to ask them, are you like them, have ears but cannot hear, eyes that cannot see? And so I'm asking the Tiashan, those of you who thinks that what Niger is doing is not in the interests of their people. Have you seen them protesting in Niger? I see them, you know where they're protesting? In France. They're protesting in France. Oh, Africa. Have you not learned anything from Thomas Sankara's death? Have you not learned anything from Mandela imprisonment? Have you not learned anything from Muammar Gaddafi? Have you not learned anything from Julius Nyerere, Thomas Sankara, Olympia, Patrice Lumumba, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, Bob Marley? Have you not learned anything from those who went before you, who seized the economic atrocities, who try to stand in the gap for actualized practical independence? Because what we have given is independence in theory. In theory. But in practical, we are not independent. Look at my country, Antigua and Barbuda. Buckingham Palace can authorize a war in my country even without the sanction of the parliament. I said Buckingham Palace. They can do it without authorization from the government to protect their own interests. You have France who are raping billions of dollars from the economies of Africa. You have families that you go to hospitals, there is no bed, there is no medication, there is no electricity, there is no proper accommodation for you in the hospitals. The school you go, you can stay on the outside and see your children inside the school, sitting on the floors in 2023. You go to the pipe, you cannot drink your potable water because your economic infrastructure is at an unacceptable level that you're dying from waterborne diseases, cholera. You're dying from what we would have gotten rid of nearly 100 years ago in the West. You are dying here in Africa, and you are still protecting France, America, and the European Union, and the UN. You are still protecting them. Do they need you? Look at your condition. Is your condition normal? Some of you speak that way because you have not been exposed. That is it. And the education that they have given you is not one to allow you to think critically. Because if you think critically, America, Europe, China, all of them will sink to third world country. So they will keep propping and supporting the nonsense that they're giving us in Africa. You know, I said I was going to do some house cleaning, but but nonetheless, you are asked to not interact or private chat any person except for the admin. And also, I see that a lot of posting is happening in the group. Please refrain from multiple posting or posting because we don't want the group chat to be clogged, so that when important information are going out, it is being overlooked. So please refrain from posting. Post critical information that will help us on the way. And if we cannot control that, we will just have to put the group where admin alone can post. We don't want to do it. We want to give everybody an opportunity to express themselves, but we also have to be mindful that there's a balance. Okay? We start to test the exchange from Friday. Today, we're supposed to have another meeting and a final testing of the exchange before we go live this week. I just want to say thanks to those of you who took the time to understand what is happening and what we're doing behind the scene. The liberation of Africa is the liberation of Africans. The success of TAC is the success of Africa. You will not be able to change your situation with fasting and anointing oil. If that was what you needed, Africa would have already changed a long time. I said you will not be able to change Africa with fasting and anointing oil. It will not change nothing. You need money. You need money. You need wealth. That is your ammunition. That is why no matter how old you are, how educated you are, and you don't have money, nobody respects you. But a little child of 8 years, 10 years, by some means, he jumped into inheritance as a millionaire. He have more respect than you that have PhD. That's it. And that is why we are not being respected anywhere around the world, because our genesis is very poor. Our origin and where we came from. The countries are at the bottom of the scale. May we move from that level so that we can address inequality and points to a better future. I come to you in peace. That continues to go up here.